Uh, Now it is starting. It takes that much time.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll go to the rest of the petals. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go to the one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll have to see. One that is coming towards us, which is from here. It's almost like a V with a curve at the bottom, like a hyperbola. Like it starts from here. It starts from here. That's how we measure. It starts from here and it ends there. So it is a V. It's a V like that with a curve here, and it goes up like as a curve, like that, as a opening curve, not a closing curve, but a opening curve. Okay, and the sharp edge, no, that edge, this is a cup, this is a cup. So the sharp edge is there. Once we erase this, we'll understand. But we won't be giving too much detail into this. Okay, so once we do a few of these, we can be talking about other things. Uh, okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 done. Okay, the fanning out, that is done. Now there is one petal which is coming down from here. It is almost a straight line, and it goes down a little bit. So we said it's in a circle, so that will also come into the circle. Like if it comes like that, it will come up to that. That is where the proportion has to be very carefully maintained, almost a straight line. Okay, and let me go up a little bit and give it a curve. Okay, when we come to doing portraits, uh, uh, what we do is we do portraits for practice. Okay, I'm just doing the drawing and talking. Huh? So we do portraits for practice, to be very observant. Like portrait proportions have to be pakka, or else they will look wrong. You know, both the eyes have to be on the straight line. Uh, the distance between one eye and the other eye from inside is one eye length. That if that is one eye length, this will also be the same size. Almost not 100%. No, it's not exactly symmetrical. So the proportions, and from the inside of the eye, from here to here, if you draw two vertical lines, that will be the width of the nose. From the center of the pupil, iris, pupil, you draw two lines, plumb lines. That will be the width of the mouth. So these are basic proportions that we are talking about. Why did I go into that? I suddenly thought of something else. That is observation. Like why we chose this, why we are drawing this. It's beautiful, yes. It looks so simple. We think that uh, lotus petal, when we want to draw a lotus, we can draw like that. Like that is lotus. It is. But this is symbolic. But this is realism. This is organic. There is a certain system to it. So, to get ourselves practiced in, we have to be alert at all times. Now, if you are going to be doing, say, tightrope walking, or like you're interested in circus and you like to do tightrope walking, you have to practice every day. Yeah, the rope is different. Your balancing technique is going to be different. Your pole is different. Your walking technique is going to be different. Likewise, here two techniques differ. For that, we practice portrait because that's the most one of the most complicated visuals that we can think of. Okay, so what are we trying to say? We are trying to say that we have to practice our
Okay.
hand-eye mind coordination. That is one reason for doing portrait. Another reason is we want to do portrait of people whom we know. It can be Mahatma Gandhi, or it can be uh, Krishna, Bhagavan Krishna, or it can be our family member or somebody who comes and gives money and says, no, like I want this portrait to be done. Their resemblance is important. Accuracy from the face is important. When I said that this eye and that eye are the same size and in between it's the same size, that is a method of doing it. But in nature it is not true. There will be a slight difference. Approximately it will be that. The nose could be a wide nose. So that won't be the mark. So when you're going to be doing a commercial portrait, we call it a commercial portrait, a portrait of a particular person. That drawing it freely takes years and years of practice. So what we do is we do tracing. Nothing wrong
Yeah.
in that. Nothing wrong in that. There are several methods of tracing. Now, the one is graph method. Now, the projection is there. Taking a Xerox and tracing from that is there. Or keeping a photograph, tracing that and tracing it out. Hundreds and hundreds of methods. So, that is, we call it a commercial work. Okay?
Uh, for
Yeah.
example, if we know somebody's face and we want to imagine and draw, it is possible in different
You
postures,
can,
like smiling.
if you have practiced enough, and if you have seen that person and your own face, you can possibly draw because you see it every day. You see it every day several times.
Okay.
So, more than drawing it accurately, when you draw it wrong, you know, oh, this is not right. You know, more than drawing it right, you can find out a mistake and correct it if you are very familiar with the face. But just by imagination, Gula, what is his name? Our ex-president, the Muslim president, famous scientist,
Abdul Kalam.
Abdul Kalam. Yeah, Abdul Kalam, the long hair and tilted face means everybody will say this is Abdul Kalam. Now,
Hmm.
so there are certain signs like I did the lotus flower. You know, this is not lotus flower. This is okay. To imagine and draw, even to draw a butterfly from imagination, to be exact. Now I keep talking and drawing. Yeah? Okay, is not going to be that easy. It's not going to be that easy. So we try not to draw from imagination. We try to draw from what we see, maybe from a photograph, and add our imagination to it.
Okay.
We add our imagination. Our thing is interpretation. See, we don't copy things from wherever. We get the ambience of it. What is the feeling? Okay, so portraits, I would say, if you want my recommendation, I would say do not draw from imagination. Because if we draw from imagination, the person in that or somebody who is close to that will always say, no, this is not right, which is very, very discouraging. I don't do portraits uh, unless the person is from an artist family who knows what art is. I did a lot of portraits, like I did portraits and commercially I did portraits a lot. I have painted portraits of musicians and artists and authors and things like that for book illustration. So I've done a lot of portrait. But I will do that only for people who know what art is. If they don't know what art is, they'll always say, no, his nose used to be slightly long. I said, what age did you see? When this photograph was taken, what age was he? If you are not aware of that, you're going to say this portrait doesn't look like him or her.
Yeah, you'll get comments.
Yeah. So you have spent so much time trying to get the resemblance of a person, and somebody can very easily come and say, no, this is not like that. Which has happened to me several times. I did a collection of portraits of musicians from very old time, Hindustani musicians, Ghulam Nabi Saab and so on and so forth. And their family members saw my portrait and said, no, he used to look different. I showed them a photograph. I haven't seen that man. I told them, like, I haven't seen any of these people. I did this from photographs that were given to me. And those photographs were taken in 1948 and 49. They saw him last when he was 70 years old. You can't compare that to my painting. I am drawing from that photograph.
Okay.
So, why do we draw? Recently, what happened was my daughter-in-law's mother wanted a painting of her cat and her dog, a puppy, separately. So I had done that. It's difficult to say no to close relatives, So
Yes.
I did it, but I was very hesitant, like, oh my God. So they without even thinking, they'll say, no, it will look slightly different. They see a dog. They've been seeing that dog from a very small age, and they see it grow and it is walking around, and you give me one photograph which was taken in one click, that's it. At that particular second, that dog looked like that. And what I'm doing is something very different. Okay, so this is what the drawing of the lotus flower is. Okay, so let me do a slightly cleaning up. Okay, I'm not going to erase it. I'll erase it when and if necessary while I'm working on it. So they came and said, oh, the dog is very good. The cat looks different.
It's easy to say.
Pardon?
It's easy to say.
It is easy to say. Uh, but her father said, no, 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 no. When it is angry or when it is like that, this is the pose. This is how it looks. And then they said, yeah, I think it is right. So it's always better to say, uh, it's not easy to say no, but if you can say, you should say no. Or you have to say, I will try to get the resemblance from here. Okay, so if and whenever they are going to be asking you to do a portrait, charge, ask for money that they will not pay. So they themselves will say no and go. Now, when you are doing a portrait for free, whether it's nice or not, they have to take it. you know, but, so uh, so portrait is a tricky business. So there are methods to do a portrait. We'll discuss that. But all said and done, uh, the proportions and all those things are fixed. Two eyes is a must, isn't it? Two eyes is a must.
Yes.
You can't avoid that. And an eye comes here and here. You can't avoid that. Here, the lotus leaf, this doesn't look like Indian lily or Indian lotus. This looks like Japanese variety, Japanese or Chinese variety. Japanese, Chinese, Korean, and all those photographs will be almost the same. So the leaves are also slightly different. Our leaves don't stand out of the water like this. Okay, I'll leave it at that. That is when I use my wrist as a fulcrum. You know, it has to be almost this size, slightly bigger. Try to make it slightly asymmetrical. Don't make it very symmetrical. You know, like then it won't look natural. Okay, let's stop it at that. Now what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to draw a circle. Draw a circle out here, somewhere here, so that I Just a second, I'll have to go and get a plate. No, I'll just a minute. I'll just go get a plate for circle. I don't have my compass and things like that. I think that will be good enough. I should have stopped it and gone. Let me